Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible? I am your chairperson. Just notify
Ye-
me. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you
you're
so
audible.
much. Right. So, as far as I know, there are 30 of you participating in this. I don't see 30 people here yet. So, we'll wait for a couple of more minutes, maybe 5 minutes. And at 2:40, whatever count we have, we'll proceed. Is that all right? Just raise your hands or give me a thumbs up and tell me it's all right. Okay, perfect. Right. So, Ronak has explained us the way that we'll proceed with Gmeet. You'll use the raise hand feature whenever you want to vote or raise your placard. It's a replacement for raising your placard. Secondly, uh, those of you who have not done it yet, change your usernames to your country name and let it remain like that till the end of the competition. And try to keep your videos on. That's up to you, not enforced by me. But since it's being live streamed, at some point we'll try to keep our videos on. Number three, chits. If you have any chit to send, something that you are not able to cover in your speech, that can be sent in the chat box. But follow like a proper format. Write your question. If it's a POI, it's a question, then write that. Followed by that, write by and the name of your country. Pratham would like to join the call. Pratham. Is anybody else a co-host along with me? Ronak, are you a co-host?
Yes, yes,
Okay, then I'm not taking care of the people joining and leaving. You take care of that.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. And I think I had sent three images to you, very simply explaining the ROPs. But I have been told that you've gone through good, rigorous training with regard to the ROPs. So if there's any doubt that you have, please feel free to ask me. But I'm not going to be explaining everything all over again because we just have 2 hours and now even lesser. That's all right. Raise your hands, raise your thumbs.
Excuse me,
Yes, delegate. Delegate of
delegate of Canada.
Canada, right? Yes.
Actually, I'm unable to rename. Is there any way that you can tell me how am I supposed to rename?
I'll
Because
try to rename you. Okay, I cannot.
sure,
I cannot rename you, but I think if you go to your settings
okay.
and then I don't know what to do. Ronak, can you help her out?
Actually, I joined with the IIT ID. That's
Hmm.
why maybe it's not giving me any option to rename.
Okay, I can definitely take note of the fact that you are representing which country, ma'am?
Canada.
Canada. So, okay, I'll take care of that. But try to okay. Australia is saying go to settings, go to profile, settings, profile. There's no profile in my settings.
Same here.
This is the Google account, the IITM ID is talking about. So you can just go to that account settings and then you will be able to change your username there. Your account name you have to change, and that will change the username over there.
Hmm.
Go to your mail app, go to manage your Google account. From manage your Google account, you can go to personal info, and from personal info, you will be given the option to change your basic info, where will be present profile picture, name, and gender. And name is the one that you want to change.
Plus one. And everyone who has this username, which is your IIT profile, just try to take 2 minutes and get this done. And the delegate who helped out with the procedure of changing the name, can you tell me your country's name?
The delegate of Israel.
Israel. Okay. Okay, you will also have to change your name, I think.
Yes, I have already changed my name. I'll just leave the meet and join again. It will be visible, I feel.
So all can you just repeat the entire thing for everyone else because I think there are many. Okay, he's left. ठीक है चलेगा. All right. Please edit your names as soon as possible. Then we'll begin. Anybody has any doubt with regard to the rules of procedure? Like you're not clear on what general speakers list means or what moderated caucus means. Anything of that sort.
No position papers.
No, I don't think that position papers will be taken for this particular session, but if the organizers have informed you otherwise, then I'm not aware. But for this session, we'll only be having debate.
Okay.
Mhm. How many of you have done MUNs before? France. Okay, a couple of you. So you guys must be aware that generally MUNs tend to take place over 2 days or 3 days, right? And we just have 2 hours. So our goal here, and we have a lot of people too. So our goal here will be to make sure that we do things very efficiently. And for that, we'll try to focus more on speaking rather than the procedure. And as far as the procedure is concerned, I think I have sent you 3 images. That will be enough. Do you want me to go through it or is it self explanatory? I think it is self explanatory. Pakistan, do you want me to go through it?
No,
Hello.
no, it's self-explanatory.
It's all right? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
actually, I am the first time participant, so I have did some research, but if you can provide one example of how to proceed with the debate, means a whole debate, so that I can prepare it accordingly, means which point to keep at what place. Like I'm confused in that thing.
See. Think of MUNs as any other form of public speaking, any other form of debate, right? Or and consider your speeches as any other 500 word essay. You're supposed to have a strong introduction, like have a hook in your speech so that there are 30 other delegates. They are interested in what you're saying, so that the EB is interested in what you're saying. So have a good introduction, good hook, then have a body which kind of explains your points, and then have a conclusion wherein you try to summarize everything that you explained in the body and leave it at a point which you will use to continue your next speeches, right? So that creates a chain, and that makes you a consistent delegate, that you're making sense consistently and you're trying to weave something meaningful and not just giving disarrayed speeches one by one, right?
Okay, no, so
Think
like,
of hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
currently, so like we will be discussing the issue of minorities in Bangladesh.
Hmm.
So, like in my first speech, I should be, I should talk about the solutions as well, or I should be confined with the problem which the minorities are facing. Like, what should be the thing?
See.
That's why I need, speak. Okay.
See, think of yourself as a delegate. So, a delegate knows that there is plenty of information available on the internet, and therefore, going again and again over the problems will just waste his time because you're getting limited time, right? And here, specifically, you have 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So, if you
Yeah.
focus too much on the problems, just have an idea that everyone else will also do that because it's the most basic thing to start with. But right now, since you need to optimize time, what you would do ideally, or any other delegate would do, is you would know that there are problems and you would approach them with solutions. So let's say you have 1 minute to speak. In that, you will make sure that your problems are not being discussed for more than 20 seconds. You're approaching it with a more solution based approach because that is the need of the hour. We do not have so much of time. Otherwise, in normally in an MUN, what happens is that you have 3 days. So on day one, you mostly introduce the agenda, you discuss the problem statement, you lobby with people. But here you don't have the luxury of time like that,
Okay. Okay. So
right? So
here,
here
like, we need
every
to
speech
think.
kind of matters a lot because you guys will not get to speak more than thrice, maybe at best.
Okay. No, so like if I have discussed the problem statement for the first 20 seconds and
Hmm.
proposed solutions for the remaining time.
Hmm.
So like what to start with it in the next speech then? Because like if I have covered almost everything in my speech in the short form, but yeah,
So I wish you could cover everything in the speech, delegate. Then all the problems in the world would be solved by just one speech. It's not possible. You'll always have something more to say. But I
yeah,
understand what you mean. You mean the pointers. But
yeah, yeah.
within every pointer, there will be several aspects that can be covered. One problem will never have one solution. There will be multiple solutions with
Okay.
different amount of viability. So you discuss that. And do you guys know what a moderated caucus is? I think you should
Yeah.
do.
I saw a document shared, so I tried to understand a little bit about that. It's after the
Okay.
GSL, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's a formal thing under the executive board. Means they chaired the kind of debate for informal debate, but chaired.
Right, right, right. 90% correct. So I'll summarize. A moderated caucus basically is a sub agenda within your agenda. So your agenda is minority rights in Bangladesh. Imagine your
Yeah.
agenda was something else, like terrorism, global
Mm-hmm.
terrorism. So under
Mm-hmm.
global terrorism, you have Israel. There are many others in the committee. Yeah, you can avoid doing. Huh. So under terrorism, you have several aspects like financing of terrorism,
Mm-hmm.
radicalism, different terrorist groups. Italy, I'm sorry, Italy. Can you turn off your mic while I'm explaining?
Yeah. Okay.
Ha, yeah. And other aspects like money laundering. So all these are subtopics within a larger topic, which is your agenda. Now approach the same thing with regard to your own agenda, minority rights in Bangladesh. Within that, you have several aspects. So every one of those aspects, and pick the most important ones and the broadest ones, so that you can accommodate more number of speakers, and that means more number of ideas and views on the topic. So ideally, that agenda will be broken down into, since we have 2 hours, maybe three subtopics. Each of those subtopics will be chosen as a topic for the moderated caucus that will be raised. So I'm giving you an ideal situation. Every delegate, be it USA, Russia, Israel, Italy, whoever, if you're luckiest today, you will get to give one GSL speech, which is one opening statement, followed by one moderated caucus speech, followed by another if you're lucky, and one more if you're very lucky. So today, and we'll assume that most of you are okay with 1 minute per speech in every caucus. Is that okay?
Yes.
Or
That is okay. And
do you want 90 seconds, maybe a higher time limit? But that will not be very inclusive because there are so many of you.
extremely sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I just have three things to ask. First, is the name change visible
Yeah,
for
yeah,
my
yeah. It's
country?
visible. Israel. Huh.
Okay. Second point is I went through the rules of procedure. Is there any
Mm-hmm.
restriction on personal pronouns usage?
No, no, no. I'm absolutely fine with it. But yeah, if you are looking to do MUNs in the future, if you want to continue doing MUNs, then know that in an offline MUN, things are a lot more serious because there you have the luxury of time. So there you can take the liberty as the executive board to correct people that, nay, don't say I, say the delegate of. But here I will not take so much of liberty because we have very little time. So you can use personal pronouns. I'll not school you on that.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
Actually,
the ideal is saying delegate of Israel, delegate of Italy, delegate of Norway, whichever country you're representing. That is the ideal way. That every time you refer to yourself as the delegate of your country. But here it's okay. You won't be
Sorry
down
for
marked for it.
sorry for interrupt, Chair.
Hmm.
Could we get 90 seconds for GSL?
Okay.
Because
Sure.
uh,
How many of you want 90 seconds? Raise your hands. After that, we'll do a count for 60 seconds. We'll compare. Okay, I'll count till five. Then, if you raise your hand, your vote will not be counted. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, right. Nobody raises their hand after this. We'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
There
9,
are
10,
also,
11, 12.
yeah.
Okay, 12 hands. 12 hands in favor of this is for 90 seconds. Now, everybody put your hands down. Those of you in favor of 60 seconds. I know we can do total number of members minus the thing, but let's follow procedure. Raise your hands. I'll count till five again. One, two, three, four, five. Okay. One, two, three, four. Okay. Clearly, 90 seconds is preferred in this committee. All right. For GSL, we'll stick to 90 seconds. But then by default, I am deciding this. For moderated caucus, 60 seconds per speaker. Because otherwise, a lot of you will not get enough opportunities to speak. That's all right? Okay. Any other doubts anyone has regarding procedure?
Yeah, I want to ask here, so you have given the liberty of using personal pronouns, but
Hmm.
whenever we introduce, so like it's not me in personal, but it's like the country we introduce. So you
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah.
so like
So
the
like I said,
introduction.
it's not right to do it, but I'm allowing it here. You will not be There will be no compensation for it if you do it. It's a mistake nonetheless, but you can make that mistake here. It's okay with me.
Yeah, okay, but like genuinely want to know that how the introduction of a country, if I'm an offline MUN, so how
Hmm.
the introduction is like.
Yeah, so see, whenever you're talking, so let's say you have a 90-second speech. In that, normally when you're talking, you'll say I 5 times, right? So I believe, I would like to say, I express, etc., etc. But in an MUN, whenever you're speaking, whenever you're on the floor, you follow a certain terminology which is delegate. So you're not I, or you're not, let's say your name is Vignesh, you're not Vignesh anymore. You are the delegate of Israel or Italy or USA. So if this is a 30-second speech, the delegate of USA believes that India should approach this problem in this way. But at the same time, the delegate of USA also recognizes the lack of finances in the country, and therefore, as representatives of USA, we would like to extend help. So here, 3 times I could have said I. I feel that India, or the delegate of India said this, so I would like to offer this. But instead of I am making a conscious choice to say the delegate of my country. That's the only difference.
Okay, and like I am representing Italy,
Hmm.
so if I want to like quote something that India said or some other country said, so can I do that or I have to stick with Italy only?
You can do that, but you'll have to quote them. If you're quoting them, then the quote has to be exact. It cannot be a paraphrasing of the same. If it's
Okay,
a
so like
paraphrasing of the same, then it becomes your perspective based on information that they have shared. But if you're quoting them, basically it's normal English language wala difference between quoting and stating something.
okay, so I can do both or I can just quote.
You can do both, but when it comes to quoting, you will have to stick to whatever they are saying in today's session, and not like you cannot quote Prime Minister Narendra Modi and then hold this particular delegate of India accountable. But you can make a mention of what Modi might have said and ask them questions. You cannot hold them accountable. They are two separate people, even though they are like, one is the head of state of India and the other is the representative. So
Okay,
you can mention, but you cannot hold them accountable. They are separate entities, two different entities coming from the same country.
okay,
Hmm.
and maybe if I want to state something, like if I don't want to question, like if I want to state that thing in the context that okay, I acknowledge this and I also like acknowledge
Yeah, you can do that. In your
the
speech, you can do that.
I can do that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Iran, yes.
Is there a limit to the number of points of parliamentary inquiry we can raise? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Points of information we can raise today for each speaker.
Yeah, so the limit is basically decided on the basis of the time that is left after a speech. So let's say you've decided 90 seconds for GSL, right? Let's say you, Iran, you speak for 60 seconds. You have 30 seconds remaining. And then you get to decide if you want to entertain questions, you want to give back the time to the committee, or you want to entertain some other delegate speaking on your behalf. There are three possibilities. These are called yields. So you're yielding your time to the executive board, or you're yielding the time to questions or POIs. And the third option is yielding your time to another delegate. So let's say if Iran wants Iraq to further speak and take their speech forward, so then you can yield that 30 seconds to Iraq. But in the case of POIs, with the assumption that we have 30 seconds left, we can take maybe two or three questions. But if somebody has only 10 seconds left, we will take only one question. So that comes down to my discretion. I'll have to see how much time is remaining. And a lot of times, what happens is that time is remaining in those speeches which are very generic, which do not have a lot of substance or argumentation. In that case, what is the point of entertaining many questions on those speeches? So what I'll do is I'll not entertain questions for them. That comes down to my discretion. But yeah, more than three questions will never be entertained. You can keep that in mind. And as far as written POIs are concerned, you can send as many as you want.
All right. So if a delegate uses their entire 90 seconds, there is no chance of asking them questions orally, right? We have to send chits.
Yeah, you have to.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay,
Anybody
sorry to
else?
interrupt you, Shubh.
What will be the marks distribution for today, since this is a proper competition?
Okay, so there are two answers coming in my head. One is pursue excellence, not marks. And the second answer is uh, there is only one answer. So focus on your performance. As far as the breakdown of marks is concerned, since there is not enough scope in terms of the time that we have to make different distinctions like moderated caucus marks, GSL marks, paperwork marks, lobbying marks, foreign policy marks. उतना time ही नहीं है. तो we'll be marking it very subjectively. And if you have any contention, of course, after the MUN, you can come to us. We'll give you proper feedback. But here, do understand there are a lot of participants here. And so it's difficult to follow a proper format when it comes to marking. But I'll be taking note of whatever you're saying. And so I will give you marks out of 10 in different categories like speaking, research, lobbying. All that I'll keep updating you as we proceed. Is that okay?
That's good.
And there's absolutely no person out of you that I personally know. So there is no reason for me to be biased towards anyone. I don't know your institutions. Oh, you are from the same institution. So there is no way I'll be biased. So don't worry about that. Now, I think with all the ROPs having been discussed, do we start with debate delegates? Just raise your hands if you're confident, comfortable, everything of that sort. Then we'll start with things formally.
Yeah, hello. Although, I have asked many questions, but I would like you, if you can, so please share some format of debate so that it would be helpful for me.
For marking, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. I'm making
No,
the
no,
mark sheet
no,
only right now.
not marking. Like the GSL speech is there, so that
Ha, ha.
one
Okay,
sample
okay, okay. Sure.
speech.
Sure, 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 sure. I'll help you guys out with that. Okay, so the first thing that you do is you raise a motion to introduce the agenda, right? But we already know there is one agenda only. We do not have two agendas. In the case of two agendas, what we do is no, no, I'm not asking you to. Okay, you want to do it like absolutely in the way that it's done.
No, like I am asking you to
Hmm.
share a sample speech given at a GSL of 90 seconds by any delegate. So like a sample speech that I am asking.
Sample speech.
So that I can,
Okay,
it
so
would
just
be
don't be
helpful
the
for
first
me.
speaker. Wait for some other speaker to speak and then get your name recognized. You'll have enough samples for you to understand.
Okay, okay. No, that would be good.
हाँ, अब मैं थोड़ी बैठ के यहाँ पे आपको माइनॉरिटी राइट्स पे स्पीच देना स्टार्ट करूंगा. मेरा वो काम थोड़ी है, वो तो आपका काम है.
No, no, not on minority rights. Just okay. I will listen to that and then I will do. Okay.
Hi,
हाँ,
the delegate
okay.
of Italy. I'm Pratham. I'm also a member of the EB. The answer to your question would be that there are different people with different kinds of, there are different styles of speaking. So there is not a particular template that you need to follow.
Exactly. Except for that thing only which I said, introduction, body, conclusion. Keep
Exactly.
all of these three strong and distinct, and that's enough. No press. Russia, anyway, you don't allow a lot of press in your country. Suddenly you want it for an MUN. Okay. Chalo, theek hai. Right. So the first motion that you have is to set the agenda, but we know there's only one agenda. So there's no point making you guys raise your hands and then vote on it. We know there's one agenda, we proceed with it. The agenda is set, minority rights so in Bangladesh, right? Now, the second motion that you have is to open formal debate. Now, within the formal debate, you have the general speakers list. So once you open formal debate, the GSL automatically is opened and we start taking down names. So we have a voting on this too. And once we have a voting on this, the third motion is to decide the per speaker time limit for general speakers list. So there are many motions that are conducted. There is roll call also absolutely in the beginning. Now the thing is that हम लोग जी मीट पे हैं, टेक्नोलॉजी इतना आगे बढ़ चुका है कि मैं रोल कॉल क्यों लूँ, मुझे दिख रहा है आप मेरे सामने. तो that will waste a lot of time. What we'll do is we'll proceed straight away with GSL now. Is that okay? That's okay. So now I'll maintain a list on my phone, right, of the general speakers list. Delegates who are interested in adding their names to the general speakers list and give their opening statements, each speaker getting 90 seconds to speak, kindly raise your hands now. Okay. Okay. I'll note down.
Shubh, you can note down and I'll tell you the order.
Okay, okay, sure.
Okay.
So do you want to choose the names or what are you
No,
saying?
no, I have the order in front of me to save the time so that you can just focus on writing and I'll tell you what the order is.
Sure, 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 sure.
Okay. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Iran,
Iran,
USA.
USA.
Iran, did you just lower your hand?
I'm so sorry, that was a mistake. But
Okay, okay. Delegates, do not lower your hand unless we tell you to do so.
Hmm.
Okay? Okay.
Otherwise, the
After
order
that,
changes, no? Just
yeah, yeah. It's Saudi Arabia,
hmm.
then
Okay.
PRC,
PRC,
Canada,
Canada.
Israel,
Okay.
Pakistan,
Hmm.
UAE.
UAE.
Okay. Delegate Savya Atre, what is your portfolio? It's not visible here.
Sorry, sir. My portfolio is Nepal, and I'm changing it right now.
Okay, change it. So then
Yeah.
Nepal.
Okay. UAE followed by Nepal, right?
Yes.
हाँ ठीक है.
Then the UK,
UK,
Russia,
Russia,
Turkey,
Turkey,
France,
France,
and then India.
India. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Delegate of on this list is fine, right? Anybody else who wants to speak, you can also get your name added later. For that, what you'll do is once you've given your first GSL speech, or if you have not given one at all, in that case, go to the chat box, write plea to be added to the GSL with your country's name. Now, please keep in mind if you are already getting to speak once, be mindful. Recognition will be distributed equally. We will try to recognize everyone equally. So, speaking more number of times will not give you an advantage. Speak sense each time you get to speak. We'll take the first speaker now. Delegate of Iran, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds. I hope there's somebody looking at time.
I think Shrikar is there. Shrikar, are you present in the meeting?
Okay, so but how
Oh,
will you inform us once maybe the delegate has crossed 90 seconds?
Maybe via chat box.
Okay, okay,
Just
fine.
give a tab.
I'll also open a tab of clock on mine, but you also keep track. So that way it's fine.
oh,
The request from the delegate of Israel would be to inform once 60 seconds are over as well,
Okay,
so that
I'll
we
inform.
okay,
know
delegate
when to
Yogesh.
wrap.
Okay. Also,
But see, the
delegates, you
thing
can
is,
lower your
won't you
hands
be
now.
disturbed if in between your speech I say 60 seconds, 75 seconds, 90
In the
seconds
chat box.
in the chat box? So if you're speaking, you'll look at the chat box or
Maybe
you'll
can
what?
you just
A
give a
message
tab?
comes up. A message comes up
But
while we are
on
looking at the
like by
screen.
yourself also, delegates, please be mindful of time. Know when you have crossed 60 seconds because then you'll have to wrap up. It's not like after 90 seconds I'll like put you on mute or something, but know you're wasting other people's time by taking up more than 90 seconds. And so that's not marked positively ever. Okay. Now we'll start with delegate of Iran. I am looking at the timer. I will inform you when 1 minute is over. I'll just like softly say delegate wrap up. When I say wrap up, you know 60 seconds have crossed. And so you have to give your 30-second conclusion. Is that okay?
yeah.
Okay, fine. Right. Delegate, you may start.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, and distinguished participants, it is an honor to address this assembly on the critical issue of protecting the rights of minorities in Bangladesh. The Islamic Republic of Iran believes that the strength of any nation lies in its commitment to equality, justice, and the protection of all its citizens, regardless of their religious or ethnic background. There are many things that one can do, a country can do to for the same. Mainly, strengthening legal protections. The foundation of an inclusive society lies in its legal framework. Iran encourages Bangladesh to reinforce its existing laws that guarantee equality for all religious and ethnic minorities. Some things they can do are clear anti discrimination laws, legal safeguards, and effective enforcement mechanisms to hold violators accountable. The other things that they can do are promoting interfaith dialogues, like understanding and tolerance towards Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and Muslims, uh, share best
Delegate wrap up.
practices for peaceful coexistence and cooperation, and organize community driven initiatives. In conclusion, the Islamic Republic of Iran calls upon Bangladesh to continue its efforts to protect minority rights through legal reforms, interfaith dialogue, economic empowerment, and increased minority representation. Iran stands ready to support Bangladesh in creating a society where every citizen, regardless of background, can live with dignity and equality. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. You've almost elapsed your time. There's like, I think, 4 5 seconds left. So do you want to like entertain questions?
I'll
One
mute the
question?
questions. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll entertain one question on the speech. Delegates wishing to ask questions may raise their hand. Everybody else lower it right now. Everyone lower it right now. First lower it, all of you.
Everyone lower it.
Whenever we ask you to raise your hands, only then raise your hands. Unless it's maybe an inquiry with regard to procedure or with regard to audibility, something like that. Lower your hands, everyone, all of you. Sab koi, har koi. हाँ, good. Now raise your hands, those of you who wish to ask POIs. अरे sentence खत्म होने दो. POI on the speech. Okay. Do you have an order of who raised it first?
Yes, we
Who's
do.
seeing on screen? Yeah, so whoever raised it first, take them.
Canada did it first.
Canada. Okay, Canada, you may ask. Now, this does not mean that each time we'll take it in this order only. Sometimes we'll take it randomly because not every time we can give the liberty to technology to dictate our lives कि सबसे पहले किसका उंगली कीबोर्ड पे पहुंचा. वो गलत बात है. So we will also do it randomly बीच बीच में. Canada, you can ask.
As a regional power, how does Iran use its influence in the current days to promote minority rights and religious harmony in the neighboring countries like Bangladesh?
Iran, you may answer.
Iran is near Bangladesh, but uh, not quite near enough to actually provide any uh, personal aid to it. But we, of course, believe in fostering an international community of pluralism and inclusivity. Therefore, we can encourage further action to address challenges, and we can suggest methods of strengthening legal frameworks and promoting interfaith dialogue, empowering communities through participation, and ensuring equal access to education and economic opportunities. That is what we can do. And as a Islamic nation, we of course believe in the fostering of inclusivity. So we therefore our entire faith revolves around it, and we hope that the citizens of Bangladesh can also be helped by the same principle.
Okay, delegate. The delegate of Russia and Israel, what is your concern?
Point of logical fallacy if the committee entertains it on a question.
Logical fallacy.
Yeah, Bangladesh is not a neighbor of Iran.
Who decides that? USA is also India's neighbor in a way. So these are very subjective terms, right? So let's not discuss over this कि कौन किसका पड़ोसी कितने हद तक है.
Sure.
That's not logic.
The
That's
delegate
just
of Israel had a
purposely trying
point
to
of
find a question. Huh.
sorry.
Israel. Yes.
The delegate of Israel had a point of information.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are we
Point of
entertaining it?
information, no, we're not entertaining. You can send it via the chat box.
Delegates, you know the format to do it, right? I'll repeat it for you. From uh, the
Your
delegate of
country's name?
your
Huh.
country to whoever you're sending it to. And if you're sending it via us and you want it to be marked, write on in a bracket via the EB. All right?
Yeah, and asking questions is your right. Answering questions is the right of the delegates who's receiving it. They can refuse to do it. It's absolutely up to them. Don't come to us asking that I have not received an answer.
And when
Okay.
you are asking a question, it needs to be a question. Okay.
There
Because
needs to be a question mark, right?
okay, what, where, when, you get
Hmm.
the W's right. That.
Five W's, one H.
That.
Right. Okay. Now we'll take a delegate of USA your speech. Delegate of USA, you have 90 seconds starting whenever you start.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, the United States firmly believes that the protection of minorities is a cornerstone of any thriving democracy. In Bangladesh, however, we see an alarming pattern of systematic challenges: declining populations of Hindus, violence against indigenous groups in the Chittagong hill tracts, and the continued suffering of Rohingya refugees. These issues are not just domestic, but global concerns that demand our immediate attention. Despite constitutional guarantees of equality, minorities in Bangladesh face discrimination, violence, and exclusion. The States condemns Bangladesh for its efforts but urges stronger measures to uphold minority rights. This includes enhanced legal protections, education programs fostering tolerance, and international monitoring to ensure accountability. The United Nations stands ready to work with this assembly to address these challenges through collaboration, humanitarian aid, and policy reform. Together, we can uphold the values of justice, equality, and human dignity. Thank you.
Perfect. Delegate, you finished your speech 20 seconds before the total time. So we'll entertain, I think, two questions. We'll entertain two POIs. You're okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right. Delegates wishing to ask POIs may raise your hands now. Okay, two hands. Iran and Pakistan. In that order. Iran, you may ask a question first.
In light of recent hate crimes, how committed is the US to ensuring the safety and dignity of religious minorities?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you clearly. Could you repeat your question?
In light of recent hate crimes, how committed is the US to ensuring the safety and dignity of religious minorities?
So, as the US, we strongly believe that a religion is a personal belief, and everyone should be uh, free enough to practice their own religion, and countries should not force any religion based laws or something like that on its communities, and human rights should be protected. So, as the US, we firmly believe that it is the responsibility of each country to protect human rights. And if human rights are violated, it's not only a domestic issue, but it is of a global concern that human rights are global, not just domestic.
All right. Thank you, USA. Pakistan, you may ask your question.
Okay, here's my question. How can the United States leverage its technological advancements and innovation to support the protection and empowerment of minority communities in Bangladesh?
In concerns with technology, I, as the representative of USA, would like to suggest that technology in the form of social media hate rate could be curbed, as there have been instances of very hatred against communities on social media platforms like X. So as the representative of US, we feel that we can curb those hate messages on social media platforms, and misinformation can be controlled on the social media platform so that there is no misinformation which could lead to further escalations of situations in any country. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, USA. We'll take the next speaker, delegate of Saudi Arabia.
Good morning. Good afternoon, Chair. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Greetings to all the fellow delegates. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia stands before this assembly to express its unwavering commitment to the principles of justice, equality, and the protection of all people, regardless of their faith. The protection of minority communities is a shared global responsibility, and we must approach this issue with compassion, cooperation, and mutual respect for the international boundaries. Honorable Chair, the Kingdom acknowledges the complex circumstances facing Bangladesh today. The people recently there made a big decision and started a new chapter in the nation's history. However monumental the change was, there have been numerous reports of notorious elements rising and harassing the innocent population of Bangladesh, particularly its minorities. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia condemns these attacks in the strongest of words and hopes that the perpetrators will be brought to justice. Chair, Saudi commends the government's ongoing efforts to maintain stability and promote the well being of all its citizens during this challenging period. The government of the day
30 seconds remaining.
hasn't turned a blind ear to all these reports, and there has been a swift response from the government side in handling the perpetrators. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia offers its full support to Bangladesh in addressing these challenges. We stand ready to assist through humanitarian aid, sharing of best practices in community reconciliation and conflict prevention. We urge this committee to focus on constructive dialogue and collaborative solutions that empower communities while respecting national sovereignty.
All right. Thank you, delegate. You have elapsed your time, so sorry, no scope for POIs. Thank you for your speech. We'll take delegate of People's Republic of China next.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me chance to speak. Honorable Chair and respected delegates, I am representing the People's Republic of China. Bangladesh is one of our closest allies and we share a strong trade and friendship. In 2024, trade between China and Bangladesh was about $23 billion. We are worried about the recent attack on minority communities in Bangladesh, especially the Hindu communities. The government led by Muhammad Yunus visited temple and condemned these attacks and promised to protect minorities. But many reports says that not enough is being done on the ground to stop such incidents. China urges Bangladesh to take stronger actions at the local level to protect minorities. We also suggest that our General Assembly of SOCOM set up a committee to monitor the safety of minorities in Bangladesh. China wants Bangladesh to be stable and peaceful. We stand ready to help Bangladesh in any way to promote peace, justice, and human rights. We look forward to collaborating with other member states for a comprehensive resolution. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any time remaining? 15 seconds. Okay. We'll entertain one question. Delegates wishing to ask POIs, raise your hands. France.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
So I have a question for delegate of China. So as you said that Bangladesh should fight for the minority, they should make proper laws for them. So what actions are taken by China to safeguard the rights of the Uyghur Muslims of the Kashgar area of their country? What proper measures are taken by the China?
I respect your question, Delegate of France, but there's a lot of misconception about our Uyghurs Muslim community in Xinjiang province, and we made not any types of concentration center. This is a self-improvement center that we want to be stable that area for any people, and we are not oppressing, and West are giving wrong perspective about People's Republic of China. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, delegate. We will move to the next speaker. The next speaker on our list is Canada. Delegate of Canada, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Honorable Chair, esteemed Executive Board, and distinguished delegates, the Delegate of Canada stands before this Assembly today deeply concerned about the plight of minorities in Bangladesh. Recent reports have highlighted an alarming escalation of communal violence since August. 88 cases of targeted attacks have been reported, predominantly affecting the Hindus community alongside other vulnerable groups. These incidents serve as a stark reminders of the ongoing challenges faced by the minorities in Bangladesh. Canada commends Bangladesh for taking steps to address these concerns, including arresting over 70 individual links to the violence. However, the situation underscores the urgent need for comprehensive measures to ensure the safety and dignity of all communities. Reports of attacks linked not only to religious intolerance but also to the political affiliations that further complicate the issue, emphasizing the need for impartial investigations and robust protections in Bangladesh. As a global advocate for human rights, Canada has consistently championed the cause for protection. We have contributed over $500 million in aid since 2017 to address such crises, including support for the nearly 1 million Rohingya refugees who continue to seek safety in Bangladesh. Canada also emphasizes the importance of addressing root causes, whether political, social, or economic, that perpetuate such violence and marginalization. The delegate of Canada urges
All
the
right, ma'am, you have elapsed your time, but you can conclude in like 5 seconds if you want to.
Hence, the delegate of Canada would like to urge this community to prioritize the international collaborations that Bangladesh can have, the policy reforms, transparency and accountability, and the community support.
Okay, thank you. No time remaining, so no POIs. And yeah, it's okay if you don't write from whichever country you are, that's all right. Now we'll move to the next speaker, delegate of Israel. France, yeah, you've raised your hand for what?
I have a POI for Canada, but it's okay.
No, 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 time elapsed. You can send it via text.
Sure.
Hmm. Canada, sorry, Israel.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, the protection of minority rights is a cornerstone of global peace and stability. In addressing the rights of minorities in Bangladesh, it is essential to recognize the systemic challenges they face, ranging from social discrimination and religious intolerance to economic disparities and underrepresentation. These issues threaten the fundamental principles of equality and human dignity. Israel, as a nation founded by persecuted minorities, Jews, is founded on the principles of inclusion and respect for diversity, deeply values the protection of minority rights. Over the decades, Israel has worked to integrate diverse population, uphold minority protections through legal frameworks, and ensure equitable representation for all the communities, including Arab citizens, Druze, Bedouin, and others. These experiences underscore the belief that inclusivity is essential for societal respect and progress. In this forum, Israel advocates for concrete steps to address the challenges faced by minorities in Bangladesh. These include enhancing access to education and economic opportunities, establishing legal protection against hate crimes, and fostering interfaith dialogue to counter religious intolerance. Additionally, the international community must support Bangladesh in aligning its domestic policies with universal human rights standards while respecting its sovereignty. Israel stands
Wrap
ready
up,
to
delegate. You can
share its
conclude. Finish your sentence.
experiences and collaborate on innovative solutions that promote equality, mutual respect, and coexistence. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, delegate. Delegate has elapsed their time, right? Turkey via text, via chat box. Sorry, via chat box. We'll take the next speaker, delegate of Pakistan. Now, also delegates before delegate of Pakistan, this is for all of you. Just because you're sitting in front of your laptops or your cell phones, it does not mean that the way of speaking will change. The way you guys are speaking, it looks like you're reading it from your screens. And so that is not public speaking, that is public reading. And MUN is a public speaking competition. So a human being who's speaking speaks in a tone and tenor that is different from a human being who's reading. So if you're reading, there's a section on the mark sheet called your flair of speaking. Under that, you'll obviously be marked a little poorly. So I will not force you to not look at your screens, because then where else will you look at? That is where your Gmeet is running. But be mindful of the way you're speaking. Speak like a public speaker, not like somebody who's reading it off their screens. Thank you. Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll start now.
Hmm.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, today I stand before you to address the critical issue of minority rights in Bangladesh. As a nation committed to justice and equality, Pakistan believes that the protection and promotion of minority rights is fundamental to our shared principles of humanity. Minority rights in Bangladesh, including Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and indigenous communities, continue to face discrimination, violence, and marginalization. These injustices, uh, these injustices undermine social harmony and hinder sustainable development. Call to action, we can have some legal reforms. Pakistan urges Bangladesh to strengthen its legal frameworks to protect minority rights effectively. This includes enacting and implementing laws that prevent discrimination and ensure access to justice for victims. Then comes education and healthcare. Equal access to education and healthcare is crucial. Pakistan calls on Bangladesh to ensure that minority communities receive quality education and healthcare services. Then comes international cooperation. Pakistan advocates increased international cooperation to provide technical assistance and capacity building to support minority rights in Bangladesh. Let us work together to create inclusive societies where diversity is celebrated and every individual has the opportunity to thrive. By protecting minority rights, we pave the way for a more just, equitable, and peaceful world. Thank you.
Thank you, Pakistan. Does the delegate have any time remaining? No, no time remaining. Okay, sorry. We'll move on to the next speaker, delegate of UAE.
Thank you, EB, for recognition. Am I audible?
Yes, delegate.
Thank you, EB, for recognition. The United Arab Emirates has always upheld the values of tolerance, inclusion, and respect for cultural and religious diversity. As a country that celebrates over 200 nationalists living harmoniously within its borders, we understand the importance of protecting minority rights to ensure social cohesion and sustainable development. Bangladesh is home to a rich tapestry of communities, including Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and indigenous people. However, like many diverse nations, challenge persist in ensuring the rights and safety of minorities. Reports of violence, discrimination, and land disputes are remind us of need for collective international efforts to promote harmony and equality. The UAE's approach to such issues is guided by principles of diplomacy, humanitarian support, and mutual respect of sovereignty. We believe that fostering economic development and educational opportunity for all communities can reduce inequality and improve social integration. The UAE has demonstrated this commitment through numerous investment in Bangladesh infrastructure, education, and healthcare sectors. We can initiate many solutions like promoting interfaith dialogues, economic inclusion programs, international collaboration. So protecting minority rights is not just a moral imperative, but a foundation for sustainable development. Together, we can build a world where diversity is celebrated and equality prevails. The UAE stands ready to support Bangladesh in achieving this vision.
Okay, thank you, delegate. I don't think there's any time remaining. No time remaining. Okay, we'll move to the next speaker, delegate of Nepal. After
Yes.
Nepal, I'll just one second. Nepal. After Nepal, we have UK, Russia, Turkey, France, India. But what we'll do is after Nepal, I'll give you a 5 minute unmoderated caucus by default, right? By my discretion. During that time, you will have to talk to each other. All of you can switch on your mics then and discuss what is the next subtopic. Next, kya? First subtopic that you want to take up under your agenda. All right. So yeah, we can have your speech, Nepal. After that, we'll do this.
Yes, sir. I hope I'm visible and audible clearly.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great, thank you. Well, greetings, Honorable Chair and distinguished delegates. An injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. These powerful words by the great Martin Luther King Jr. resonates deeply as we discuss the rights of minorities in Bangladesh today. The delegation of Nepal stands proud to address this assembly. As a nation where over 120 ethnic groups and 123 languages coexist, Nepal recognized that diversity is not a challenge but rather a strength, and protecting minority rights is essential for a peaceful and just society. Nepal has taken decisive steps to safeguard its minorities, including constitutional guarantees for proportional representation and federalism to empower marginalized voices. As a host to over 2,000 refugees, including Bhutanese and Tibetans, Nepal has demonstrated its commitment to humanitarian values through education, healthcare, and inclusion. Nepal offers its experience in inclusive governance and conflicts resolution, and we propose regional initiatives like joint capacity building programs and cultural exchanges to promote solidarity. We commend Bangladesh progress and honor the legacy of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, but we must address pressing challenges such as protection of the Rohingya and indigenous community. As Nepal visionary leader Bhikneshwar Prasad said, peace thrives only where justice prevails. Let us unite and ensure that minorities everywhere are not just protected but empowered to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we no time left? Okay.
Thank you.
Also well spoken, ma'am, but it's Rohingya refugees. And these are very fundamental things that you may miss out. So avoid doing that, all of you. We'll take the next.
What did you just said? I couldn't hear it
Yeah,
properly.
you said Rohingya Muslims. It's Rohingya Muslims.
Oh, I'm so sorry for the
That's
mispronunciation.
absolutely fine. But these are things that happen, and
Yes, yes,
don't do it over and over again. Ek bar,
yes,
it's okay.
yes. Thank you very much. Thank
Yeah. UK. Somebody would like to join the. Okay. Delegate of UK. Yeah, UK, you'll have to wait for a while. We'll take the 5 minute unmoderated caucus. All of I am not present in the meeting anymore. You can imagine me as a presence that is not going to speak. All of you will have to talk to each other and condense down to one or two topics within the agenda that you want to discuss. It's up to you how you want to term the agenda, term the subtopic for the moderated caucus. That is up to you. But break down your agenda into smaller, simpler aspects. Take your time. You have 5 minutes.
Delegates, during the Durga Puja this year, Bangladesh saw an unprecedented attack on the minorities. But the point worth noting was that the government had good arrangements for security. So the problem does not lie with the government, but how the society perceives the minorities. So we can have deliberations around it about like the Bangladeshi society as a whole and how they perceive the minorities, the Hindu minorities.
The delegate of Israel believes that we can frame the agenda as
Oh, by the way,
somewhere
delegates,
like
you will also be in a way indirectly marked on this. I am still in the meeting. I'm just not talking because I'm not a representative of any country, so I should not be interfering. But if you do not participate here, you will be seen as somebody weak and somebody who does not want to build lobbies. So your real strength as a delegate can be shown here in the way that you negotiate and help people be convinced with a certain topic that you have in mind. Okay, proceed.
so the delegate of Israel believes that the topic can be framed as hate crimes against minorities in Bangladesh or rise in hate crimes against minorities in Bangladesh.
Well,
As
the
a
delegate of
yes,
Israel believes that that is what the entire agenda is for this committee.
I guess we should, discuss about great bigger aspect. Let's not talk about Bangladesh, but
I
also
agree.
about other minorities group in the world.
And
No,
considering
that is
some
not
I
the
don't have
topic.
time for that. That would not be boiling
Sorry,
down the
brother, you
concept, but we
can't do
would be
that.
actually,
You have
yeah.
to stick to constraints of Bangladesh.
Yeah, considering the agenda is Bangladesh, we should actually look after the government efforts and policies. While the government initiatives are aimed at promoting inclusivity and interfaith harmony, we should look at successes and shortcomings in addressing the minority grievances in the past few years, which has led to this sudden rise in the hate crime.
Let's discuss about the drawbacks of the laws made by the Bangladeshi government.
See,
Let
The delegate
Priyanka,
would
I
like
support
to
this.
understand rather than discussing about the drawbacks and the problems, we should think about the solutions and what legal frameworks we
So
can
first,
include or what.
we should discuss
I
about the
suggest you
problems.
all
Then
of
then
you
we should
guys
we can
that
discuss about the solutions about it.
yes, France. I suggest
How
you
can you
that
just discuss about solutions first and the problem and after that?
I suggest
Let us
you
not
guys
I
speak
would
over
like
each
to
other.
please
support.
talk on.
Let us
We don't
just
have
a
time to
second,
Focus
just a
on
discuss
the
it.
second.
media roles, the role that media has in spreading disinformation
Let
regarding
us
the
not
topic.
speak over each other, and maybe we can raise hands and then we can decide in turn to speak. It shows at the top.
Yes,
Uh,
Okay,
this
so
is
the
good
first
idea.
person, United States, you can speak whatever you want.
Yes, so as delegate of United States, I feel we should be talking about the radicalization of teens and students in Bangladesh, which has led to the major impact on the education of Bangladesh, or most on the minority education, who have been literally escorted out of the schools and colleges. And we could focus on a solution which is more based on the education system,
Delegates, 2 more minutes.
so that we can come up with a solution which can be of impact in the long term.
Yes, Canada next. Please make
uh,
it quick.
I would like to side with Saudi Arab of Emirates, basically to protect the rights of the religious minorities in Bangladesh, as this sub-agenda will focus on strengthening the legal frameworks, improving law enforcement trainings, and fostering community harmony. It will also explore our international collaboration and monitoring to safeguard the minority rights there, and it would ensure accountability for the violence that is happening and fostering long-term peace and inclusion in Bangladesh.
Canada, sorry to cut you short, but whoever has a topic in their mind, just quickly write it in the chat
Okay.
box. And those of you who support it, give it a thumbs up.
I want to express grassroots implementation and monitoring of minority rights.
The delegate of Italy believes to discuss on the rising extremism in Bangladesh, especially after the regime change.
Recent attacks on
Yes, the next is Malaysia.
recent attacks. The
I
nation's
believe rather than giving everybody chance, it would be better if we simply just open our mic and say whatever topic is there, because there are barely any time left.
Yes, yes, correct. My what
grassroots.
the delegate of Israel believes is that we can have a discussion on the recent rise in hate crimes. That is a subtopic of the broader topic of the minority, anti-minority stuff that has been going on in Bangladesh. Hate crimes is just a subset.
I do not
And what
believe we
I would
should
like to bring
really
on the
waste
table
time.
is that, and what I would like to bring on the table, the delegate of Nepal, is that why there is issue of this minority, why people are still stuck over this majority, minority, caste, and all. It's because of lack of education. So I believe the discussion of the committee should change this direction near around education and what
Okay,
education can do.
maybe socio-economic challenges of the minorities or something like that, as Nepal suggested.
Okay, last 30 seconds.
Okay, as one
So we
topic
can
popped out,
combine
like
everything
I would
as the
like to
delegate of
second
Israel is
Nepal's
telling:
position.
education, social economy, maybe
Yes,
finance.
Israel
I
would
would
also
like to
second
add
this
that the social
motion if
and
it is raised.
economic reforms
I would
can be
also like
brought
to second that motion,
when
but
the
along with that, I
legal
would like
framework
to
is strong.
bring
So
this.
we are proposing a clause that calls international funding to improve the access to education for minorities. Would countries support this initiative?
You are
not
not
just
clear.
minorities,
We
but
can.
Okay,
the
time over,
population as a
guys.
whole. No.
Time over. Everybody, mic off. Fine. I understand 5 minutes is not a lot of time for you to decide on a topic, have enough discussion, but I think even 2 minutes are enough if there is a direction that you're discussing in. Or which delegate proposed the idea that you should maybe raise your hand and then speak instead of everybody talking together? Which delegate was that?
Israel.
Israel. Good idea. So these are the kinds of ideas that you, as somebody who wants to lead committee, will have to come up with during unmoderated caucuses, because this is a time that is distributed equally to everyone and everybody has equal say in it. Unlike in a moderated caucus where you get dedicated minutes to speak, or in a GSL where you get dedicated 90 seconds to speak. Here, there is no dedicated time for one of you. All of you will have to fight for it. So, in the case of chaos, how do you organize things? By coming up with these ideas that raise your hands. And now again, who came up with the idea that you should lower your hands now and just talk because there's barely any time left? Which
Canada,
delegate was
I
that?
believe,
Canada, I believe.
and Nepal.
Nepal.
Both.
Okay, yeah, that was a good idea too. So I think on the chat box we do have a couple of motions already. Anybody wants to add something, do it quickly. And someone, Pratham, are you here? Can you help me out with the voting?
Sure, I'm here.
Right. So there are too many topics. Uh, if you support any of these topics, just give a thumbs up on the message. Can you react on the message? Is there any way to react on the message?
No, it is not possible to
Oh, it's not
react on the
possible to.
message.
They can raise their hands and I can just count them.
Is it possible to actually introduce moderated caucus topics, two or three of them, and then just
Yeah,
vote on
but the
them?
problem is that we can like allow for the introduction of two or three topics, but there are so many
We
of
can
you who
have
have given
polls.
points.
Actually, the
So
thing is, I was reading through the topics, and many of them actually address the
similar.
same thing.
Okay.
So,
In
The
that case, yeah,
delegate
I
of
had
Israel
not seen the
believes that
chat box
maybe topics can be
merged.
yes, or
Okay.
read out one by one, and the first one which passes will go through.
Okay, what I'll do is like I'll quickly read through the chat box because I have not read it even once. I'll see the motions.
We have
Out
the
of that,
option of polls in the activities part.
no, let me read it first. Okay, recent rise in hate crimes against minorities, education, economic empowerment, rise in extremism through after regime change, legal frameworks, media, radicalization. Okay, I think the key topics are radicalization, legal framework, education, economic empowerment, and media. Right, that's it. So yeah, we can take motions. We will be entertaining three
Delegate
motions,
of
not more than three.
Pakistan believes that the chair
Hmm.
didn't read all of the topics.
Yeah, because they are the same, ma'am.
No,
I'm
like
reading it upper
my
upper se
topic,
only.
the delegate of Pakistan wrote a topic which was quite different:
I can't see it.
forced displacement and migration.
Okay. First, displacement and migration. Then there's Chittagong Hill event. Then recent rise in hate crimes and against minorities. Okay. So I think most of them are similar. What we'll do is I'll allow for three of you to raise motions in the order that you raise your hands. So when I ask you to raise your hands, then raise your hands. I'll recognize the three, and then you will be asked to give your motion. We will hear the motion, we'll vote on them, and then we'll proceed. So, delegates wishing to raise motions. Okay. Who will tell me the order?
I
Pratham.
can let you know the order. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. It's Israel first.
And then two more names.
Israel, Iran, followed by Turkey.
Okay, Israel, Iran, and Turkey. You guys can name your motion one by one. Israel.
The delegate of Israel would like to raise a motion to suspend formal debate and enter a moderated caucus on the topic rise in hate crimes against minorities in Bangladesh in the recent past and the legal frameworks to counter them for a total duration of 45 for a total duration of 15 minutes with time 45 seconds per speaker.
Okay. Delegates in favor of the motion. Delegates who support the motion. Okay. It's a small number. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. The motion fails. We'll move to the next motion.
the delegate of Iran would like to suspend formal debate and introduce a moderated caucus on the topic of economic empowerment programs to reduce disparities and strengthening of educational and healthcare systems for minority communities for 10 minutes, 1 minute speaker time.
Okay. Delegates in favor. 6. For the previous one also we had 6, right?
Point of personal privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is are all the people present in the meet, all 18 participants? Because at least two are paradox IDs, and uh, four seem to be from the EB, other than the speaker, chairperson, that is.
So there are six paradox. Wait, how many total members are there? We need 50% plus one for any motion to pass. I think six is 50% because 12 profiles are delegates at least.
We can do this way. Okay, everyone who is a delegate here, can they raise their hands now? Everyone.
Hmm.
A point of parliamentary inquiry. I
Yes,
didn't.
ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't hear what the speaker just said. Raising hands for what?
Only delegates raise your hands. No paradox IDs, no
Okay,
executive
okay,
boards.
thank
Only delegates. If you're a delegate, raise your hand. We want to
you.
do a count of people. Yeah, so we have 17 people who have raised their hand now. 17 delegates.
Yes.
And we got 6 votes, I think, for both the motions. So that way it fails. We need 50% plus one. So 17 का 50% कितना होता है?
It will be 9 simple
8
majority.
and a half, 9. Okay, third motion. Delegates, please vote. Like at least one motion to has to be passed. Who was the third delegate recognized for the motion?
The delegate of Turkey.
Turkey, yes,
So,
delegate.
the delegate of Turkey would like to suspend the formal debate and introduce a moderate caucus on the topic of improving the socio-economic policies regarding the minorities living in Bangladesh and also providing them legal protection uh, for 20 minutes and per speaker time getting 1 minute or each speaker.
Okay, socio-economic and legal methods to protect minorities, basically. That is the essence. Delegates in favor, raise your hands. 5. 5, okay. All three motions fail. 6. All three motions fail. What we'll do is we'll take all three as moderated caucuses and we'll be marking on that only. That will simplify things for everyone. Since we have 6 in favor of each of the motions, it only makes sense that we take them up, right? It's okay?
The delegate of Italy would like to point out
Mm-hmm.
to revote on the first motion because, as far as I remember, it was close to 8 or 9 votes for the first motion, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, sure. I don't think so, but sure. Delegates in favor of the first motion.
Point of personal privilege.
Mm-hmm. Yes, delegate.
Could the delegate please repeat the topic for the first moderated caucus topic that was introduced?
Yeah, I think for the delegate was Israel, right? For the first motion.
Yes. The topic was quote unquote rise of hate crimes against minorities in the recent past and legal frameworks to counter them.
Okay, delegates in favor. And even if you've not voted before, you want to vote right now, you can vote. We want it to pass anyway. 8. 8 hands.
There's 9 now.
9. Okay, passes.
Okay, it's 9, so it passes, I guess.
Passes. What was the per speaker time and total speaker time specification for this?
15 minutes total time, 45
Mm-hmm.
seconds per speaker.
15:45. Which engineer will do the math for me and tell me how many speakers we'll have in this list? Divide the
20
total by
speakers.
per 20. Okay. 20. Yeah. Fine. Delegates wishing to speak. And before that, delegate of Israel, would you like to be the first speaker or reserve your right to speak in between?
The delegate of Israel would reserve its right to speak in between.
Okay, fine. Delegates wishing to speak, raise your hands, please. Okay. 1 second. Do not lower your hands. Pratham, do you want to take it in this order?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Then we have 15 speakers as of now. We'll take more later if required. The first speaker is Iran. Uh, I've taken a screenshot of the list, but I'll tell you the next five speakers: Iran, Canada, PRC, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan. Iran, you have the floor for the next 45 seconds.
Actually, the delegate of
Delegate of, yes.
Turkey would like to know what are the countries before Turkey in the latest
Mm-hmm.
list.
Sure, sure, sure. So the list goes like this: Iran, Canada, PRC, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, USA, Israel, Russia, Nepal, UK, Italy, UAE, Norway. Turkey, did you lower your hand?
Hey, I lowered my hand in between,
Point
I
of
guess.
कोई बात नहीं, मैंने
I
पहले लिया था
was after
स्क्रीनशॉट, गैलरी में
Pakistan.
जाने दीजिए एक सेकंड. 1 second.
sorry for interrupt, Chair. Point of parliamentary inquiry.
1 second. Don't interrupt now. Let me read out the list. The list is Iran, Canada, PRC, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, France, USA, Israel, Russia, Nepal, Turkey, UK, Italy, UAE, Norway. Now you may interrupt, delegate. Delegate, you may interrupt now. Yeah. What were you saying?
Yes, Chair. My point of parliamentary inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask if Bangladesh delegate is not present, how we observe a state and how we get answer of Bangladesh. So it is difficult for us to talk on moderate caucus.
Yeah. No. 1 second. Let me ask the current head of state of Bangladesh to send somebody for us. Arey, what do? We don't ask them questions. That's it. But if you want to discuss anything, that is, see, there's a difference between discussing something and directly inquiring something from someone. You can discuss about Bangladesh even now. You cannot inquire something out of the delegate of Bangladesh because they are not there. Similarly, there are more than 150 countries of the United Nations who are not in the meeting. So if you have any discussion regarding them, you can do it, but you can't ask them questions. So definitely discuss Bangladesh, but don't ask me how to ask them questions because there is no way to do it. Whatever you say in your speeches will be in the public account. It will be released as a meeting record. So then people of Bangladesh will know. But up until then, you're just in the meeting with the 17 others and you only have them to question. Okay. And your moderated caucuses will not have any points of information. There will be no questions during this session, but you can ask questions nonetheless within your speeches. So let's say you have 45 seconds to speak. In the first 30 seconds, you give your speech, and then in the next 15 seconds, you can pose questions to other delegates. Like, for example, I've spoken for 30 seconds. Now I have a question for Russia regarding their media, regarding their censorship of media. So after speaking for 30 seconds, I say that now the delegate of Russian Federation needs to also realize that they are censoring media, which is similar to what is happening in Bangladesh. So when they commit to solving the problem of Bangladesh, do they ignore what they are doing within their own country? Something like this, a rhetorical question or a factual question, whatever, you can include it within the constraints of your speech. But separately, there is no POIs in your modcock. Now we will start. Any other doubts regarding modcock?
No.
Can we ask questions via chat
Yeah,
in
you
mod?
can. Yeah, yeah. Pratham, is it
Sure.
okay?
Yeah,
Pratham?
yeah, it's okay. Just one thing, please make sure that even if you don't write from because it's already there, please write to because I see some chits where it's not addressed to anybody. So how would I even mark it? Okay, so please keep that in mind.
Hmm. And secondly, also do not flood us with questions. Always remember quality over quantity. Okay, you will just overwhelm us and we will have difficulty in marking if you just unnecessarily ask questions. Ask
Hmm.
questions that have substance in it.
Yes, and I'll tell
Take
you right now, all the questions which are very repetitive or very generic that a lot of you are asking, you won't
don't
be
ask them.
getting marked on that.
Yeah, don't ask them. Ask something fresh.
Sub point of parliamentary inquiry.
Sure.
Sir, could you please provide the topic for moderated caucus as I didn't get it clearly?
Okay, I think it was hate speech and legal frameworks, right?
Okay, the delegate who proposed it, can you
Is
write
it
it in the chat?
Israel?
Yes, that would be very grateful. Thank you, sir.
Israel, can you do it for us?
Already doing it, typing it as
Iran,
we
do you know
speak.
the topic? Iran, you're the first speaker on the list. Are you confident on the topic? Yeah, you can start speaking then.
Thank you, Chair. As Iran, we recognize the troubling issue of hate crimes against religious minorities in Bangladesh, especially Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. These acts of violence undermine the principles of equality and justice and respect for human dignity. While Bangladesh's constitution guarantees religious freedom and protection for minorities, the enforcement of these laws has often been insufficient. Iran strongly encourages Bangladesh to strengthen its legal framework by ensuring the full implementation of existing laws that safeguard the rights of minorities and holding perpetrators of hate crimes accountable. Furthermore, Iran emphasizes the importance of international cooperation in addressing this issue. We support the role of regional and international organizations such as United Nations
Delegate
and
wrap
the
up.
Organization of Islamic Cooperation in providing resources, legal aid, and advocacy to Bangladesh. By fostering interfaith
Delegate,
dialogue,
delegate,
yeah,
delegate. Time over, time over. Thank you.
thank you.
Hmm. We move on to the next speaker. The next speaker on the. Anybody knows how to share images on the chat box? Is it possible?
It is not possible.
Okay, okay. Do you have a
Um,
WhatsApp group?
the delegate of Turkey would like to say something on this.
No, but we have a G space.
But in the G space are not several people present who are not part of this committee as well?
अच्छा कोई बात नहीं छोड़ो उतना
You
ज़रूरी भी
can
नहीं
share
it's
the
not that
link
important it's okay
link on
Yeah,
the chat box.
I agree.
उतना कौन
I
करे
was gonna say the same thing. So if it's too important, you can send it to me. I'll make a link
हाँ
and
वो
I'll send
that
it.
I'll do हाँ
All right.
it's not anything it's just the list of speakers so even if I have it it's okay right I'll just keep repeating it for you guys
Sure, sure. Then
हाँ
there's no need. Yeah.
yeah Canada you're next and after Canada we have China Saudi Arabia Pakistan France Canada
The soul of the nation is tested by how it treats its minorities, as said by Bangladesh's very own leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Honorable delegates, the rise in hate crimes against minorities worldwide demands urgent action. Bangladesh alone has reported 88 incidents of communal violence since the past year, highlighting an escalating crisis. Such hate-fueled acts disrupt peace and undermine human dignity. Canada stands firm against the hate through comprehensive measures like Section 319 of our criminal code, which criminalizes hate speech, and the anti racism strategy of 2019 to 22, addressing systematic discrimination. We call on all nations to implement stricter hate crime laws, power marginalized communities, and promote awareness campaigns fostering inclusivity. Thank you.
okay thank you delegate we'll take the next speaker China
Thank you for giving me chance. China want to express there's a huge issue on minority and there are horrific incidents that is happening in Bangladesh. And a very beautiful quote says by Mahatma Gandhi, "The future depends on what you do today." So Bangladesh is doing very bad thing with their minority, and Bangladesh should have to take action on ground level and at grassroots. Thank you.
okay thank you delegate Saudi Arabia
Thank you, Chair. We acknowledge the attacks that happened in Bangladesh, and they happened because of the underlying tensions and cracks that existed before. Like they had existed since the country was created, since it was partitioned, and these cracks just exploded with the ouster of the sitting prime minister, that was Sheikh Hasina. Now, regarding that, these cracks exist in many South Asian countries, and these exist mainly because of how they were partitioned. And to deal with it, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia would appreciate would appreciate the Bangladeshi police to not be a sightseer, rather it should not side with anyone and be partial. It would also appreciate the Bangladeshi army to be called in whenever necessary. And the last point, if I could make that,
Mm-hmm.
the kingdom would also appreciate swift and impartial trials of the perpetrators so that they can be brought to justice.
Okay. Thank you, delegate. We take the next speaker, delegate of Pakistan.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, Pakistan acknowledges the rise in hate crimes against minorities and is committed to addressing these issues. Significant strides have been made in Pakistan itself, such as the enactment of Protection of the Rights of Religious Minorities Acts and the establishment of National Commission for Minorities. Uh, Considering the recent challenges that Bangladesh is facing these days, maybe Bangladesh can take some examples from Pakistan about these acts and protection rights. These initiatives aim to prevent discrimination, ensure justice, and promote social harmony. Recent legal challenges that happened in Pakistan itself, such as the Lahore High Court's ruling on inheritance rights. Okay. Pakistan is dedicated to continuous improvement and international cooperation to create an inclusive society for all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pakistan. We'll take the next speaker, delegate of France.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So, honorable delegates, esteemed colleagues, the rise of hate crimes in Bangladesh in recent years has been alarming, particularly against its minority communities. To address this issue, it is crucial to strengthen the legal framework, ensuring effective protection of all citizens. Bangladesh must enforce and expand laws like Penal Code of 1860 and the Prevention of Terrorism Act 2008, which already criminalize acts of hate and violence. However, these laws should be more specific in addressing hate crimes, including those based on religion, ethnicity, and gender. Additionally, Bangladesh should establish a dedicated Hate Crimes Prevention Act, which would define the prosecute hate crimes more comprehensively. Alongside stricter legal enforcement, there should be nationwide educational campaigns through promoting tolerance, inclusion, and respect for diversity. By improving legal protections,
Wrap
promoting
up,
social
delegate.
cohesion, and working with international organizations, Bangladesh can combat hate crimes and safeguard the rights of minorities. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. We'll take the next speaker, delegate of France. No, France just spoke. USA.
USA condemns the recent activities which have led to discrimination of minorities in Bangladesh and led to the uh, deaths of several minority communities. It has also led to the destruction of monuments of minorities, specifically the Hindu temples which are present over there. As the US, we suggest that the law enforcement is done better. Protection is provided to the minorities in refugee camps. US ensures that it will provide aids to Bangladesh so that it can provide food and other necessities to the refugees who have been dispersed from their houses. We also encourage that Bangladesh should come to a steady state and then fresh elections, fresh democratic elections are held over there, which has representation to minorities as well, so that democratic discussions around around this topic can be held in Bangladesh, which will encourage and
Thank you,
lead to a
delegate.
better.
Better?
It will lead to a better situation in Bangladesh.
Okay. Thank you, USA. A point of order, yes. Point of order by which delegate?
Delegate of France to
Yes,
delegate of
delegate.
Nepal.
What point of order?
As Nepal said in her state that France is suffering from migration issues, but I want to say that it is a factual inaccuracy as France never faces the migration issues in country.
Okay, like I had given you the three images on ROP. For point of order, I had written that if the EB makes a mistake. So there is a notion that is followed in some MUNs of factual inaccuracy. I personally believe that if We are representing a country. We must have given rigorous examinations, interviews to reach a position where whatever we are stating is considered as fact. So somebody from India will not go on to question some other diplomat from USA on the fact that they are stating. They'll assume that what they are saying is a fact and then question them. So there is no point of order like this that I'll be entertaining. Just keep in mind, if you want to raise the exact same thing, you can say it in your speech as a concern. Okay. All right. We take the next speaker now, delegate of Israel. Oh, wait. Delegate of Israel, would you like to speak now?
Is there a problem?
No, it's up to you. Basically, the screenshot that I have taken of the speakers is based on when the hand was raised for recognition. But since you had raised the motion, you can speak any time that you want to, even at the end or second last, third last. So, do you want to speak now? It's okay with
Yes.
you? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Israel.
Honorable delegates, the delegate of Israel suggests a three-pointed approach to counter these hate crimes. The first is immediate amends to reduce the disproportionate impact of Vested Property Act, or formerly called the Enemy Property Act. This will ensure that the Hindus whose lands were taken will be returned to them. Currently, a lot of the violence that Hindus are facing in Bangladesh and other minorities are also facing is contingent on this very act. Secondly, the law enforcement must be made better. No matter how many laws are made, unless the law enforcement is properly done, trained law enforcement personnel are present, it is very difficult to
Okay, thank you,
effectively
delegate.
stop
Wrap
hate
up.
crimes.
Okay. Thank you, Israel. We'll take the next speaker, Asha. But before that, I think this is a note regarding USA speech. So please, everyone, keep in mind, aid is the same when it's singular or plural. AIDS is a disease. So you don't want to give aids to countries. You want to give aid only. Okay, just keep this in mind. This is a mistake that a lot of people make, and it's completely all right. But it can create embarrassment if it happens in an offline mode. Here it's online. Okay, we are in the luxury of our rooms. We can switch off cameras, we can switch off mics, but in front of 50, 100 odd people on stage, you don't want to say you want to give aids to countries. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, delegate of Russia. Yeah.
Sure. So, Russia urges Bangladesh to strengthen its legal frameworks and mechanism, including establishing some special tribunals for swift justice and enhancing police and military accountability. Moreover, fostering interfaith dialogue is essential to encounter extremism. As a global power committed to peace, Russia supports collaborative efforts to ensure minority rights, and international community it urges the international community to assist Bangladesh to build a safer and more inclusive society. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, delegate. Very well timed. We'll take the next speaker, Nepal.
Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Well, we all know in the recent years, Bangladesh has seen troubling rise in hate crimes, particularly targeting the religious minorities. Despite constitutional guarantee for freedom and equality, hate crimes persist due to the insufficient enforcement and societal intolerance. To counter this, Bangladesh must strengthen its legal structure, ensure swift and impartial investigation, and promote an interfaith dialogue. Education is also crucial in fostering tolerance and understanding among diverse communities. Effective implementation of laws, social awareness, and education are key to creating more inclusive and a peaceful society. And this is what Nepal offers to Bangladesh. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. The next speaker is delegate of Turkey.
Esteemed Chair and fellow delegates. So, Turkey's perspective will be focused more on explaining the solutions and what it thinks about how to handle the situation of hate speech in Bangladesh. So, first thing is to strengthen the legal framework. Second is to promote education and dialogue. Like most of the hate crimes are based on blasphemy, and like Bangladesh has strict law over blasphemy. So people they need to understand the ethnicity and cultural division and how to tolerate it more. The third thing is about the online messages and various platforms which spread like hate speech. So we can like work with the AI software engineers to develop algorithms which can scan various sites and detect which are the platforms which spread more hate speech and to block them. And the last would be an international collaboration will be required to implement all of these changes in context of Bangladesh. Like not only the government of Bangladesh, but all the countries, they have to support Bangladesh in this. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate of UK, you have the floor for the next 45 seconds. Delegate of UK, UK, if you're done colonizing countries, can you make your speech, please? Okay, I don't think we have UK. Delegate of Italy.
Hey, hello. Yeah, I am facing a network error in my ear. Can I speak after 5 minutes or 2 minutes if you allow?
No. Sure, sure.
Please.
Sure. Okay. We'll take the next speaker, delegate of UAE, I believe. Who's the last two speakers?
Thank you for recognition.
One second, UAE.
The
Wait. Italy said they'll speak later, right? UAE and Norway. So Norway, you also be prepared. UAE, thank you. Yeah.
The UAE expressed deep concerns over the reported rise in hate crimes in Bangladesh. Such acts often target vulnerable communities, undermine the values of harmony, tolerance, and coexistence that are essential for any nation's progress. As a nation that prioritizes peace and inclusion, the UAE emphasized the critical role of a robust legal framework in addressing these challenges. Effective legalization, coupled with strict enforcement, is vital to combat hate crimes. And as the delegate of Pakistan mentioned, to take examples from Pakistan, to Bangladesh also supposed to take Baluchistan's example. We UAE condemn Bangladesh efforts to address these issues and encourage continued collaboration with international partners to strengthen mechanism for justice and protection. The UAE calls upon the global community to unite in safeguarding human dignity everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech, UAE. We'll take the next speaker, which is the last speaker, delegate of Norway. Before that, anybody wishes to add their name to the list again, or who has not spoken even once and wants to speak in this modcock, you may raise your hand.
Point
We'll
of
add you.
order.
Point of order, yes, Israel.
Uh, 15 minutes have already passed since the moderated caucus was brought into motion. The motion was passed.
Yeah, see, so this is a formality, 15 minutes or total speaker's time and per speaker's time. The thing is that we want to hear people out, right? Now, when it comes to your 15 minutes, can you imagine that it will be exactly 45 seconds for a speaker? People will speak for more than 45 seconds. They'll speak for 50 seconds. I'll interrupt in between. You'll have interruptions. So just avoid these technicalities of total speaker's time. Per speaker time be 45 seconds. If it's set to that, 5 seconds plus minus is okay. So here also 5 minutes plus minus for total speaker's time is okay. Anybody who wants to speak, you will be recognized. Don't worry about that. So if you want to speak, you can raise your hands now. You'll be recognized. Priority will be given to those who have not spoken at all. Okay. Yeah. Israel, do you want to be added?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Pakistan, Israel, Pakistan, Nepal, PRC. We'll take one more speaker. Iran. Okay. Can somebody in the chat box write it in this order for me, please? Israel, followed by Pakistan, followed by Nepal, followed by PRC, followed by Iran. All right, we'll take Israel. Israel, you have 45 seconds. Israel?
Yes,
Hmm.
just a second.
Sure, sure.
Yes, the delegate of Israel would like to state the third approach that has to be taken. The third approach is international collaboration to ensure that democracy returns to Bangladesh. Elections take place. The current regime has not been elected. So, elections need to be conducted soon.
Okay, thank you, delegate. Delegate of Pakistan, you have the floor for 45 seconds.
Okay, Pakistan acknowledges that it is not perfect and faces significant challenges in protecting minority rights in Pakistan, especially for Hindus and Christians. However, we believe that no country is flawless. It is the continuous efforts to improve that truly matters. Pakistan is dedicated to legal reforms such as the Protection of Rights of Religious Minorities Act and support initiatives to protect and uplift minority communities. We strive for progress, learning from our past, and working towards a better future for all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegate. Delegate of Nepal.
Uh, Thank you, Chair, for the recognition. Well, as a neighboring country, Nepal recognizes the challenges Bangladesh face with the rise of hate crimes targeting toward minorities. We've already mentioned in our speeches that strengthening law forms and promoting education is important. But one more thing is important, that is regional cooperation. Nepal stands ready to collaborate with Bangladesh and other countries in South Asia to share the best practice in countering the hate crimes and ensuring peace, stability in the region. Thank you.
Hello.
PRC. PRC is
Sorry
next,
for
right? Or Italy?
hello.
No,
Sorry for the
Italy.
interruption, Chair. I was at that time I asked for the
Yeah,
network
yeah,
error,
that's
so I
fine.
guess is my
So
voice
we'll
now?
let you speak. We'll let you speak last. There are two more speakers. After that, we'll take you.
Okay, so
Sir,
like is my voice clear? Like I want to confirm. I don't want my voice to be cracked in
It
between.
was clear before also, sir.
Okay, no, it was cracking for me, so I thought there is some error. Okay, thank you.
No, no, it's not cracking for us.
So
It's
point
cool.
of
It's absolutely
personal
fine.
privilege,
Yes. Who's saying this?
Nepal.
Nepal. Huh.
Yeah, sir, is my moderated caucus done? Like, was my mic on? Because I just realized my camera was off.
No, your
Like,
mic was off.
sorry, sir.
Your mic was off.
My mic was off, sir.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, sir. Am I like, like, let me again speak it then?
No, no, it was on. It was on.
Okay, like, oh, because
It
now
was
I
on.
realize when I
Don't
come back,
worry.
like, is it
Now your
done?
camera is also on. Arey
Yeah,
wow.
now I turned it on.
Your camera
Okay,
was
okay. The
also
mic
on,
was on.
delegate. Don't
No, no,
think.
camera was off, I
Okay.
think.
All right,
PRC's camera
thank
was
you
on.
very much. Thank you.
Okay.
PRC, you're next.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. Just a
Hmm.
couple of things regarding
Mm-hmm.
chips. Okay, delegates, keep in mind when you're asking a question, okay, if you ask it after a speech, you'll get maybe 5 to 10 seconds to ask that question. Treat the chits like that, okay? Do not take it as a second chance to further your writing career because that's what most of you are doing here, all right? Make your questions very crisp, okay?
Yeah.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
The delegate of Israel feels that the jits that are being written are not being written by the delegates but by ChatGPT
Delegate,
because
you do not need to say it out loud. We, the chair, we know it already. We know
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the speeches as well.
Yeah, we can see your eyes moving no when your cameras are on.
We know it already. All right. This thing first, please do not chat GPT it. Put a bit more effort. Okay. Even if you are chat GPTing it, please, there is a one simple prompt. You can tell chat GPT to make it concise. All right. Do
Hmm.
that. Also, you
No, no,
delegates, you are
don't do
asking the
that.
same
I
questions
mean,
again and again.
next time say do that. Here, don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. See, I do not normally do this. All right. We let it flow, whatever is happening. But because this is a learning experience for you guys, we are giving more feedback in the middle of the committee. All right. One more thing. For example, if someone asks the question to Pakistan about their minorities, Hindus, Christians, etc., the first person who asks that through the chat will be marked. Now I've seen 4 to 5 chats with the same question, so I won't be marking the rest of the people. So before asking your question or before chat GPTing it, if you're doing it, please make sure that that question has not been asked. And please do something out of the box. Please do not ask the same question again and again, because you're wasting your time and you're wasting the time of the other delegate if they choose to answer. Okay.
Hello. I would like to know who asked that question first about the minority rights in Pakistan.
Delegate, I've marked them. I do not remember who it was, but I've marked them. I have not marked the rest of the people. Rest assured.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And also remember, please, everything will involve the same human psychology. So just like he said, like just like Pratham said, that if there are several questions of the same nature, same content, same substance, then the first one will be marked. Same goes for speeches. If you're saying the same thing again and again, the one who says it first, early mover advantage, will be marked heavily. The others will be marked for giving context. Okay, theek hai. They've also mentioned it. But the one who brings it into committee is the one who actually gets marked the most. And secondly, we know very clearly when you're reading or when you're speaking. How? If your camera's on, and that does not mean you'll keep your cameras off. Even then, from the tone of your voice, we'll understand. So try to speak more now. Because otherwise, how else do we create a distinction amongst you guys as competitors? If you're reading out the same kind of substance, speak. Speak from your heart. Listen to other speeches. Point something out from their speeches. Do something like that. Be involved yourselves, right? Beyond your research. Active listening karo. Now we'll take the next speaker, which is Italy. No, actually Norway and then Italy. Norway, you're the next speaker.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegate, the rise of hate crime against minorities in Bangladesh is deeply concerning. To address this, Norway believes a strong legal framework is essential, including strong anti-hate crimes law, special legal protection, and independent monitoring body to ensure enforcement. However, we also emphasize that urgent need for free and fair election in Bangladesh. A democratically elected government is crucial for ensuring that the rights of all citizens, especially minorities, are protected and accountable is upheld. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, delegate. Delegate of Italy. I think we have 1 hour left. No, I think we have. Oh, we have half an hour left.
7 minutes if we
No,
consider
no,
that.
we'll extend a little bit. I think all of you are free, no?
Point of
For
personal
half an hour
privilege, the
more.
delegate of Israel has another event to attend, which ends at 5.
Yes, that is
Uh,
the event.
Ends at 5.
Point personal privilege
Yes.
also happen if the same event to attend.
Point of personal privilege, the condition is same.
Acha, theek hai. Now let's talk like human beings and not diplomats. You don't have to say points and all that stuff.
Hmm.
Just quickly, how many of you have to leave? Raise your hands.
Quite a few.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll take delegate of Italy speech. After that, we'll have one open floor round of speeches, which will not have any topic as such. That will be impromptu speeches that you will be giving as representatives of your country on the agenda. You will not be looking at your research. Whatever you feel has not been discussed and should have been discussed. Because then I think within half an hour we'll be able to complete. We'll take these 6 speakers first because they have to leave, and then we'll take the next. Okay, is that all right?
Point of personal privilege. Uh,
Quickly.
it was told in the beginning that uh, some feedback will be given to us. So if that can be done.
Yeah, whoever can stay back, you will get your feedback. जो नहीं रुक पा रहे हो, You can contact us personally. We'll talk to you and we'll discuss.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Shall I start, Chair?
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah, thank you for the recognition, Chair. The delegate of Republic of Italy strongly condemns the attack on minorities in Bangladesh, especially the rise in hate crimes in the recent past. Despite constitutional guarantees of secularism and equality, religious minorities are being targeted in Bangladesh. Italy always stands for there is full respect of all religions, especially the minorities. As a delegate of Italy, I urge the Bangladesh government to arrest the extremist elements in the society and to rise the increasing extremism and to tackle the increasing extremism in the society. We have always been working for the stability of this region. We hope this issue gets settled as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Delegate of Italy. Pratham.
Yes, I'm here.
So do you not want to extend it? It's absolutely fine with me. I thought we have not had enough discussion, so let's just push it a little. But it's absolutely fine if they have events and maybe they want to relax or whatever.
See, I'm okay with it. I have time, but I'm just thinking about them because 7 of them need to leave. That's my only concern.
Fair. Then maybe we'll continue till 4:30 only. After that, for feedback, you can stay back if you are free.
Yeah.
We will give
Okay.
you general feedback. स्पेसिफिक फीडबैक मतलब आई विल नॉट टेल यू कि इस स्पीच में ये गलती करी तुमने, कल ये मत करना, वो सब मैं नहीं कर रहा. बट आई विल गिव यू an overview of how to maybe research better, structure your speeches better, all of that. Okay?
Okay.
Fine. So let's revert back to the GSL in that case. Those of you who want to leave and are not in the GSL for the next maybe 3-4 speeches, you can go and prepare for your event. Fine. Pratham, who's on the GSL?
Okay. Just a minute.
Take your time.
Hmm. I think you had the record of the GSL on your phone.
Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
I do. We had Canada. Did we take France? France, did you speak?
I have it written down somewhere.
France, USA spoke.
USA has spoken in the GSL.
Russia has spoken.
Or Russia, I don't think Russia has spoken.
UK. I think UK was the last speaker who was not there present in the meeting during their GSL, and then we reverted to the Modcock. Was that the case? Russia, Turkey. Have you spoken? Turkey?
No, Turkey is left right now.
I think the last speaker was UAE. Did who was just after UAE in the list?
Israel.
Israel, did you speak in the GSL? Delegate of Israel?
Point of personal privilege, I did not hear the last sentence.
Okay, did you speak in the GSL?
Yes.
Okay.
Israel has spoken. Italy also must have spoken then.
Not in the GSL, in the moderated caucus.
Okay, then I think this is the list. Italy, UK, Russia, Turkey, France, India. This is the list.
I'm sorry, but I didn't raise hand in the GSL, I guess. The Italy was not in the GSL.
Then UK, did you raise? UK? UK is not there. So I have this list where it's UK, Russia, Turkey, France, India. I had removed the names of those who had spoken. And
As far as
obviously
I
those who had not
remember.
raised will not be there in this list. So there is
Yeah.
one list where Russia, Turkey, France and India is supposed to speak. This must be the GSL.
Yes, actually, that's what I'm saying. But I remember India was the last in the GSL list.
This is the list then. So Russia, your UK is supposed to go, but UK is not here. UK had left the meeting. So we'll take Russia, then we have Turkey, France, and India. You are, correct. Okay, this is the list. Correct, correct. ठीक है. Okay, Russia, you have the floor for the next 90 seconds.
Greetings to the delegates of the World Forum, honorable chair and observers if present. The Russian Federation is deeply concerned with the plight of minorities in Bangladesh. We acknowledge that our country has a lot of have done a considerable like the country has done a lot of considerable progress in various areas of governance, human rights, but also the situation of minorities, uh, particularly religious and ethnic minorities, remains a pressing issue. Post independence, the minority Hindu population was near about 22% in Bangladesh, which rolls down to 8.03% today. Nothing seems natural in this trend. Hate crimes and overall mishappenings to the minority community is to be blamed. The Russian Federation is committed to promoting equality and human rights both within our own borders and internationally. We believe that the protection of minorities is not just a national responsibility but an overall global one. As well-being of minority groups is essential for stability and peace of any nation. We also emphasize that there is a
Wrap
deep
up, delegate.
yeah, correct.
No, you can
So,
finish your sentence.
oh, okay. So the Russian Federation calls for a comprehensive approach that includes both domestic reforms as well as international collaborations to address the challenges faced by the minorities in Bangladesh. We stand ready.
बस इतना भी लंबा sentence नहीं. Short sentence. So
Just a short one.
no, done. You're done now.
Okay, fine. Sure.
This is for everyone. Whenever I say that, okay, time has elapsed, but finish your sentence. You use the
Was it
shortest sentence possible,
okay?
not
No,
the
wasn't it for
most.
90 seconds? So like 30 seconds were left.
No. Time was up. So
Okay.
if you like take note at the chat box, we have a specific individual from the team who's notifying when the time is up.
Sorry. Yeah,
So
sure.
90 seconds. Yeah. But my bad. Initially, we had said that at 60 seconds we'll interrupt. So that created. But fair enough. You spoke for more than 90 seconds.
Sure.
We'll take the next speaker. The next speaker is supposed to be Turkey. Yeah.
Yes. So, Honorable Chair and esteemed delegate, I want to start with a quote of Nelson Mandela. To deny people their human right is to challenge their very humanity. So, Turkey, we believe that protecting minority rights in Bangladesh is essential as not only for Bangladesh but for the entire world, as we believe that like together as a nation or on an international scale, we can make a difference by creating Bangladesh an example for this. See, historically, we have a cultural tie with Bangladesh, and also it's a Muslim majority country. So we'll be focusing mostly on the diverse communities, which are in minority, like the Rohingya Muslims and the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh. So we believe in fostering intercultural dialogue because it is one of the solution. Until this one community does not understand the perspective of the other, there is no way to sort out the differences between them. Second, we need to strengthen the legal framework in Bangladesh. Third, we need to increase the internet surveillance. Surveillance, not as in like getting their into their personal data, but to scan the open source platforms and social media to sort out the problem of hate speech. And for doing all of this, we need an international cooperation. And by doing all of these, we can make Bangladesh an example for a place where we can protect minority rights. Thank you.
Thank you, delegate. Is there time remaining?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay. I would like to go for question if the time is remaining then.
Okay, we'll take one question. Okay, no time remaining, Ronak. Okay, there's no time remaining, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
We'll take the next speaker in that case. Uh, though he's only two speakers more left from this list. We have France and India. After that, whoever wants feedback, you can stay back. Rest of you can leave. So, delegate of France, yeah, you're next.
Am I audible?
No. Yeah, you are audible.
Cool. So, Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, France is deeply concerned about the recent civil unrest in Bangladesh, which has intensified the vulnerabilities of minority communities, including Hindus and Rohingyas refugees. Reports indicate a surge in targeted attacks and communal violence, further marginalizing these groups. These minority rights group has documented repeated instances of clashes and displacement, highlighting the urgency of international assistance. This issue is not unique to Bangladesh. Across the world, minorities face persistent discrimination. According to the World Justice Project, discrimination worsened in 70% of countries global between 2021 and 22. From the Rohingya in Myanmar to the Uyghur population in China, this global crisis demands coordination action. In response, France has provided significant support to the French Development Agency AFD, including a 184 million euro credit facility to improve governance and infrastructure, benefiting all citizens, including minorities. Additionally, we are working with the EU Civil Protection Mechanism to ensure timely humanitarian aid. France proposes the following solutions. First, immediate protection measures. Second, inclusive political dialogue. Third, legal reforms. And fourth, increased humanitarian assistance. France remains committed to working with Bangladesh and international community to ensure peace, stability, and protection of all citizens, regardless of their ethnic or religious background. Thank you.
Thank you so much, delegate. Time's up, so no yielding. We go to the next and the last speaker for today, but we don't, because at any point of time in a general speakers list, there has to be one speaker. If there is no speaker in the general speakers list, that means the committee has ended, right? And the committee does not end today, it ends tomorrow. So we have to keep one speaker in the general speakers list. And that does not mean I will not let India speak, but as a formality, this is how it happens for your future MUNs. We'll take India now, and then I will recognize one speaker for tomorrow, and then we will adjourn committee today. So, India, you can make your statement now.
Hello, yeah, am I audible?
Yes, India.
Yeah. Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, I'm honored to represent India in this important discussion. India strongly believes that the protection of minorities is fundamental principle in ensuring social harmony, peace, and sustainable development in any nation. As a neighboring country with shared cultural, historical, and geographical ties, India is deeply concerned about the situation of minorities in Bangladesh, particularly the Hindus, Christian, and indigenous communities. India recognized the constitutional and legal framework in Bangladesh that aims to safeguard minority rights. However, we are aware that the challenges such as religious intolerance, discrimination, lack of adequate political representation continue to affect these communities. India advocates for the respect of human rights and the protection of religious and cultural diversity, urging Bangladesh to address these issues effectively and immediately. India is committed to support Bangladesh in fostering a society where the rights of all its citizens, irrespective of their ethnicity or religion, are respected and upheld. We encourage the government of Bangladesh to strengthen measures aimed at combating violence, promoting education, ensuring equitable access to opportunities for minor communities. Furthermore, India reaffirms its readiness to collaborate with Bangladesh and other international stakeholders in sharing knowledge and resources to create more inclusive society for all Bangladeshis, regardless of their background, their economical strength. In conclusion,
All right, delegate, wrap up.
India dedicates to working with international community to improve the lives of minorities and ensure equality and peace in the region. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, India. Do you follow it yourself in your country? Rights to all people, regardless of their ethnicities and where they come from, their backgrounds.
Yeah, in India we do.
No, no, you don't have to answer. We know the answer better than anybody else. Behind the curtain of chairperson, curtain of delegate of Norway, Saudi Arabia, France, we are all Indians ultimately. We know this the best. So, okay, anyway, with this, we come to an end to today's session. However, since formality also has to prevail, we will take one speaker for tomorrow. Whoever wishes to be added to the general speakers list, raise your hand randomly, whichever name I see, I'll recognize. Iran. Okay, Iran. Fine. Done, done, done. Now you can lower your hands. Right. So with this, we will put the GSL to a pause, having one name at least in the list. Tomorrow we'll continue. Tomorrow I'll tell you how we'll proceed. The first thing we do is there's no need to take a roll call essentially because it's being recorded in a Gmeet. So we'll avoid that. We'll start with the GSL. We'll take a couple of speakers, 4, 5 speakers. After that, we'll again give you an unmoderated caucus for 5 minutes. But since you guys have already met each other online now, given speeches, understood each other's point of view, more or less, you have today's time to lobby. Today, you can lobby and save up on tomorrow's time and make things move in your direction by deciding on whatever topics you want to raise for moderated caucuses tomorrow itself. Right? So you can get done with that in your WhatsApp groups if you have any, or take each other's numbers, formulate WhatsApp groups, do all of that stuff. So I think looking at how we used up time today, tomorrow also at best 1 or 2 moderated caucus will be discussed, right? So keeping that in mind, you can lobby accordingly today. अब इसके अलावा anybody has any doubts, you can ask right now. And
Uh,
if you want to leave, you can also leave, no issues.
Chair, tomorrow we have to make draft or not?
I don't think we will have enough time to make an entire draft resolution, but I will take some time out, 10-15 minutes, to explain you what a draft resolution is, how its format is. Like, I'll give you a general idea and I will ask you to make a paperwork, which will not be so strictly marked in terms of format. So you can be very fluid with the format. And simply, what is the point of a paperwork? Any paperwork, if it's a draft resolution, if it's a working paper, if it's a position paper, it's to explain somebody's point of view. So in your draft resolution, what do? You explain the point of view of the discussions that you had in committee, and then you vote upon it. If it passes, then it basically means that the entire committee had agreed upon a certain point of view, right? So whatever that is, you can enlist it in 10 different ways. Some will be more formal, some will be informal. We will have the most informal kind of paperwork. It's a working paper. It does not have any format as such. There is no strict voting or anything like that that happens on it, because we just have 2 hours. एंड आप वोटिंग सीख कर क्या करोगे? अल्टीमेटली तो 3-4 पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज को ही वोट देने का ऑप्शन रहता है लाइफ में. तो वोटिंग सीखना है नहीं, इधर पब्लिक स्पीकिंग सीखना है. तो लेट्स प्रायोरिटाइज ऑन स्पीकिंग मोर रादर देन दीज technical things that will not come to any use in our lives. ठीक है? So tomorrow you will basically get to give your GSL if you have not given it today. Otherwise, you'll get to speak twice or thrice in moderated caucuses. And what I'll do is I'll also allow you to ask one question after every speech in a certain moderated caucus, if I feel it's necessary for more involvement, more engagement. Any other doubts anybody has?
Yes, just to clarify, we are starting at 3 tomorrow, right?
I have no idea. I'll start whenever I'm asked to.
Yeah, we are
So
starting
I
with
have
three
not checked the
tomorrow.
schedule. 3? Okay, 3. You don't have to raise your hand. You can just unmute and ask. We are in
Hello.
like informal session maybe.
Feedback
Am I
loop,
allowed to share the link of a WhatsApp group in the chat so that we can all join that group and then connect further?
Ma'am, wait for a minute.
You're an engineer. Tell me, solve the problem.
RNA, I am allowed to share means in the chat.
Yeah, you can share.
Yeah, okay. In a minute, I will be sharing. Hey, please don't leave for a minute, just.
Chair, please give us feedback.
Yeah, feedback. So if
Yeah.
I was delegating in your committee, these are the things I would do. I would understand that we are online, and so I would try to be an engaging speaker, and I would try to make my speeches sound more like stories that have a beginning, middle, and end. Any film that you watch, any story that you read, it has a beginning, then slowly you build up to a conflict, and then you resolve it, and then there is an end to the film, a climax. Can be a happy ending, can be sad, whatever it is. In the case of Bangladesh, I think it's sad. So if you weave your speeches like that, it's more engaging, it will capture more attention, and that is how you will stand out. Secondly, research in today's time, honestly, in 2025,
Shubh,
research is really no big deal. There is, huh? Yeah.
I'm extremely sorry to interrupt
Mm-hmm.
you.
No problem.
From the Paradox team, we got an information that we should not create any WhatsApp groups. So the
Oh, okay,
delegates,
okay.
shortlisted delegates, will be creating another G space for you where you can discuss among yourselves. So don't leave the existing G space also. We'll be, as we already told that we'll be discussing about the certificates and other stuff. So we'll be creating a new G space for you all guys. So don't create any WhatsApp groups or don't join anything.
So will the
So
shortlisting happen today?
no. Already we have shortlisted the 30 candidates, no
Okay,
delegates. So
these
we'll
30, right, right. Huh.
yeah. We'll be creating a G space with all those 30.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So they'll do it for you. They'll create a G space for you. You don't have to do it.
So
While
we'll do it
officially it
by
is not allowed, unofficially we
Okay.
are free to do anything, right?
Better to avoid
Okay.
certain problems.
We,
Better we don't want to create that.
Better to not talk of it in a recorded
yeah,
meeting.
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
Sure.
don't talk about it,
Okay.
but just do it.
Arre, don't have to say anything, man.
Israel
People
being
understand.
Israel.
Okay, okay. Feedback. Yeah, yeah. So speech. So weave your speeches like it's a story. Secondly, that's the first thing. Secondly, research, like I was saying, is research is available in plenty today. But you know that everybody will, in that case, circle down to the same research, right? In that case, your personal point of view or how you analyze a situation in a way that is different from the others, from the general population, which is the 17 other delegates that you're competing with here, how your research stands out is important. So, in that case, if I was country X, I would look at what my relation is with Bangladesh and I would streamline every problem that I point out, every solution that I suggest, and somehow connect it back to my relations with Bangladesh. So I'll give you a very vague idea. I don't know if it's fair or unfair. But if I am a neighboring country to Bangladesh, compared to if I am a Western country who believes in a certain idea of humanitarian support and humanitarian interventions, the way I streamline my research, I can have both of us can have the exact same research of 5 pages, but the way that we express it will clarify our country's prerogative, right? Because that is ultimately the point of MUNs. The reason that you are given a country to represent is so that each of your speeches are streamlined in the interest of your country, right? So every speech of mine, every research statement that I put forward in committee should connect back to my relations with Bangladesh and my country's personal philosophy in terms of my international relations. So, India, we are all Indians. So, this is an example which is close to home. I don't think it will help the delegate of India as such, kuch extra, but it's the simplest way to understand this. India, for most of its tenure since its independence, has had its foreign relations in a very soft power kind of manner. India has approached it. But in the last decade, maybe India has been taking a radical approach. So the way that the diplomat of India would have spoken 15 years back will not be the same as how they'll be speaking today in a public platform like the UN. So, how your leadership is in your country will also influence the tonality of your speeches. Because if the I'll say it in very like layman terms, if my leader is a weak man, if my head of state is a weak man or woman, then obviously my diplomats will be weak speakers, right? And that's why whenever we see the speeches of people in the UN, we always hear those voices that are dominant voices because that's also how media works, right? Media always drifts towards the dominant voices because that brings them money, that brings them leverage. You guys are understanding what I'm saying, right? Or am I also drifting away? Right. So your country's relations with Bangladesh and its policies in general should be expressed in the content and the tonality of your speeches. Now, for any speech, there are three things that are important. One is logic, two is emotions, and three is credibility. Right? So use these three in equal proportions in your speech, and your speech will have enough substance. Because, see, I'm pretty sure as engineering students, I don't need to advise you on research. But also understand that when you have too much of information, you often miss out on what should be prioritized and you go with the general flow. Don't let that happen. Pick up something specific. By now, you have a general idea of the crisis. Pick up something specific that you feel your country should be most passionate about. So, let's say your country is very passionate about education in its own domestic, uh, in its own domestic affairs. It has the best educational plans in the world. There are countries like that. For example, if I am representing Bhutan, Bhutan has something called the happiness index. And so the way that they structure their speeches will be very different from how DPRK will structure their speeches on the same agenda. Because DPRK believes in chaos. Bhutan, on the other hand, believes in absolute peace, harmony, friendly relations. Why so? Because that is how the citizens also function. So it's kind of like a bottom up thing. You can literally look at your citizens and your governance and decide how you want to give your speeches. Any other queries? You can unmute yourself and talk. No
No,
queries?
no,
Okay.
no queries.
Okay. One
Okay,
thing,
I'll
Dilip.
also tell you what are the main parameters of marking that I am doing. So I'm marking you on your flair of speaking because obviously it's a G meet. You are in the comforts of your home. If you're not like paying attention on the speaking development over the 2 days, then that would be unfair to you guys. So that is one criteria. Second is research. Third, I'm marking your questions out of five. I'm marking your answers out of five when it's asked verbally. Chit ka Pratham and I, since it's a recorded meeting, we'll have Pratham has been marking. Chit, I have not been marking. I'll be marking it later. I'll look at the recording. I'll do it. Chit will mark like that. But for your verbal POIs, it's out of five for the question and for the answer both.
Let me clarify for the chits as well.
Hmm.
If the question is not relevant or it has been asked again and again, I do not mark it. It's a zero. If the question is uh, passable, I mark it zero point 0.5. If the question or the answers are really good, then I mark it 1. Of course, it will be scaled accordingly because his scale is different and mine is different. Don't worry about that. Also, you should know that chits are, of course, not marked uh, to the same extent as a verbal question is because they are very different from each other. I hope you get that. Moving on to the same thing about chits, please do not ask